Hi, I'm Robyn Shumer, and my family calls my style of humor Shumer humor. And what that means is that I'm the one that will say the awkward thing out loud that everybody else wishes they could say. And I learned when I was 17 that sometimes when one thinks avoiding saying the thing is easier, they're actually wrong. Like that time I worked as Tweety Bird at Six Flags. The costume was aggressive. The head went up to here, it came down past my elbows, leaving me with these little T-Rex arms, and I had no peripheral vision. And unlike Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny, there was no built-in fan. So imagine a 100-degree New Jersey summer day, and rather be honest and have a conversation with my manager that it was too hot and I was worried about getting sick, I decided to fake faint so that I could go home with pay. But what I forgot was that I had signed a contract with Looney Tunes saying I would never be seen headless in the park. So there I am, passed out, while the EMTs are trying to hoist Tweety Bird onto the stretcher without the head coming off, and dozens of kids are screaming, "Tweety's dead, Tweety's dead." That was the day that I learned something important. The more that we try to avoid discomfort, the weirder and heavier it gets. I should have just said, "I'm overheating and I need a break." It would have been awkward for 10 seconds, but instead I traumatized a small army of children. And the funny thing is that moment, which felt mortifying at the time, has become one of my best icebreakers. I love talking about my first job. As if telling my manager that I was worried about heat stroke would have been the worst conversation to have. Which brings me to my 18-year-old son, who is a freshman at the University of Rhode Island. He came home from class last spring and said that he learned about ginas in school. And I said, "What's a gina?" knowing what it is. And he got all uncomfortable and I said, "Oh, you mean vagina." Avoiding the word vagina and words like it is part of a bigger cycle of shame, especially for girls and women who are taught that our bodies are something to hide or euphemize. But when we name the thing honestly, we make space for people to breathe. The heart of my talk, I want people to stop shrinking to avoid awkwardness and start embracing truth-telling that might get weird but always gets real. So let's stop shrinking and start saying the real thing and find out what becomes possible when we stop fake fainting.